Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our regular meeting of the Town Council. Today is Monday, July 17th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Please stand for the pledge, and I'll have Councilwoman Tompkins lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We will continue on. We do not have any presentations tonight, and we do not have a public hearing. So I will ask for approval of the previous meeting minutes. May I have a motion, please?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Underwood.
motion to approve the minutes of the previous meetings, June 19th, 2023, special and regular meetings, June 26th, 2023, special meeting, June 29th, 2023, Town Council Board of Education Joint Special Meeting.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any corrections or additions to those minutes?
Madam Chair?
Yes, please.
I had spoken to our town manager earlier today about the June 26th minutes at the end of the minutes for that meeting. Where in fact, it was, I felt that the language was a little unclear in some respects, and I don't know what the outcome was. I know you were going to listen to the tape, or
Yeah, go ahead.
did you want to?
Yeah, so Mike and I met, and we were talking to Cindy as well. We kind of reviewed what was written in the minutes and also reviewed the tape. And we figured that there's probably some areas that could be clarified, specifically on the motions that were taken and the recommendations that were made. So Cindy and I were going back and forth on possible revisions to it. And the revisions, Cindy, I don't know if you wanted to take a moment to kind of talk about what we would possibly make. And if the council, agrees, then you can accept the revisions as proposed by staff.
Okay.
Thank you. I had suggested a revision at the very end where, at the bottom of page 3, if you have a moment, where it says, let's see, discussion was held. Chairwoman Puglisi, along with the town council members, reviewed and discussed each amended section of the draft report of the town charter as recommended by the Charter Revision Commission. And then I believe what was in question was this next statement. All amendments were accepted along with the following recommendations. So the question was if I could separate out where the actual motions were made to the 4 that were accepted and then what the vote was. So I had added Councilwoman Tompkins made the motion to accept the amendments of, and then I listed the 4 sections that were approved, those 4, and then the second was made by Vice Chairman Underwood, and motion passed with a 6-0 vote, and and then I kept it the same as below, that the 2 suggested sections, which again were Chapter 7, Sections 5 and 6 of the financial provisions, and Chapter 10, Section 9, referencing gender, were going to be forwarded to the Charter Revision Commission for further clarification. Motion was made by, again, Councilwoman Tompkins, seconded by Vice Chairman Underwood, and the motion passed with a 6-0 vote. So I just separated it out, and I, again, will have those forwarded to the draft, amended draft form to review for the next meeting.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Does that help, Rosemary?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, so do we need to have a revote on the amended minutes of?
I'll send them out for further review, and then maybe for the next meeting.
Okay,
you
perfect.
can look at them again.
Yep. Okay, so we'll wait until our next meeting to vote on the amended minutes.
Is that okay?
Yes, yeah, okay, I don't know if you hold up for the other meetings as well. I don't know, it's up to you. Yeah.
No,
No.
I don't think
Not
so.
if you accept those as they are.
So
Okay, does Dave have
you want a motion to
over?
approve the minutes of the previous meetings being only June 19th and
June 29th.
June 29th?
Correct.
Good,
Yep.
great.
Okay,
So move with that motion?
Yep, second.
okay. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Announcements and reports. Does anybody have anything to report tonight? I know it's summer and a lot of the commissions, or some of them have hiatus. I know that the Commission on Aging does not meet during the summer. Nothing from anybody?
Madam Chair, I do have
Yes.
something. So
Okay.
I'm the liaison, the town council liaison for planning and zoning, and they just approved a pickleball
Oh,
unit to go behind where Firestone is right now. So
yep.
that's going to be something that's ongoing, and it's
That's in
very
our-
exciting.
On the agenda.
So,
Michael's going to talk about
Yep.
that today. and- Yeah, that's fun. There, you're going to
Yeah.
get out there and play?
yeah, well,
Good.
yeah.
All right.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Rosemary.
Yeah, the Library Board of Trustees met on June 27th. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend. I was one of the organizers of the Historical Society's visit to the East Street Burial Grounds on that evening, so I was not able to attend. And they do not meet during the summer, so their next meeting will be September. And
Okay.
I'll be there.
Great, thank you. Anything else anybody wants to bring forward? Just a reminder that the Balloon Festival is on for this year. We will meet again in August, but there'll be a lot of publicity regarding the Balloon Festival. Lots of people are happy and excited, and the fire company is looking for a lot of volunteers to help out. So if you feel like you want to do that, I would encourage you to get in touch with the fire company. If you go on their website, there's a form you can fill out and shoot it over to them, and they'll be happy to have you help out no matter what, an hour, 2 hours, half an hour. Any time is valuable, that's for sure. So that is coming up. Okay, if there's nothing else, we are going to move on to appointments and resignations.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
motion to postpone the appointment of Mark Thomason to the position of police officer until the date of August 21st.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 2,
Madam Chair,
Mr. Underwood.
motion to appoint Judith Anderson, 17 Christian Lane, to the Committee on Aging for a term ending August 1st, 2025.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any other appointments or reappointments tonight? Okay. Do we have any reports from the town attorney? Thank you for being with us for our charter discussion.
No, Madam Chair.
Okay. Thank you again. All right, report of the town manager. Michael?
Yes, good evening, and thank you. I have 8 items, and of course, the ninth being happenings that Andy will take care of. The first item is Tomaso Nature Park update, and I do want to just acknowledge that there are a few members in the audience here, and Art Marino is here as listed. But I just wanted to say, under this topic, if you had questions for Art or them, maybe that I could pause there after that item 1 to see if there was any concern or
Okay.
questions. But essentially, Tomaso Nature Park update, the town has been successful in working with Art Marino on the creation of 2 turtle beds at the nature park. And I'd like to thank Art and also Mike Farrar from Highway Department for their efforts. There's evidence that the beds are successful in this activity and it's helping. So we hope that will continue and that it'll be well established and thrive. The Conservation Commission would like to continue to have the assistance of Art Marino, and given that his history and knowledge as the former curator of the park would be, I think, invaluable to the group going forward, and that Marge Burris has requested Art Marino be designated a technical advisor, if you will, or consultant, and help assist Jeff Sepko, who is the current curator. So I support that request and would recommend the council authorize the Conservation Commission to designate Art Marino as a technical advisor or / consultant. And of course, he wouldn't be a member, he'd be a volunteer, but he would be basically assisting that. And I don't, again, this doesn't have to be, this could be something that you wanted to amend the agenda to take up tonight, or just, we incorporate into the August meeting, but again, an opportunity to have any questions answered, any concerns you may have. But I think it's a great fit. I think it's a great way to transfer knowledge and information, and Art is willing to do that. And I think he's already, some great success, great knowledge and understanding. And then we just want to be able to, I think, I don't want to speak for them, but in terms of perpetuating the health of the nature park and making sure that there's great stewardship. So I think 2 heads are better than 1 in essence.
Yeah, I have no objection to that. I think it's, if Art wants to come back and join our crew, hi Art. Of course, we would love to have you back and help out. I know that he retired, but your knowledge and your experience and expertise is certainly of value to the commission, and I certainly have no problem with Art joining as a volunteer technical advisor. Is that the title that he'll be having?
I think so. I think that would be appropriate, yeah.
Yeah.
Technical advisor. A lot
Okay.
of-
Is everybody okay with that?
Yes,
With Art
absolutely.
coming
Absolutely.
back
Yes,
into the
fine.
fold? Okay.
Yep, great.
Thank you so much for stepping up.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Okay.
Great, thank you. Item 2 is, as Councilwoman Tompkins indicated, we're moving forward with an MOU with the tax fixing agreement with Camp Pickleball LLC. So they have applied to construct one building consisting of 23,000 square feet, new construction with site improvements. I think that in your packet you see some of the renderings of the courts, both indoor, maybe if they're successful enough, outdoor, possibly. The estimated costs of improvements are at least $1.3 million, but in no event less than 85% of that number is what we'll be fixing within the agreement. The Economic Development Agency, after consideration of the applicant's proposal, has recommended to the Plainville Town Council that as an inducement to the applicant to construct improvements, the town enter into a tax assessment fixing agreement when the construction is complete. And we've done this before with other projects. Additional information is included in the packet that describes the design, the layout, and operation. So there is an item under new business regarding the approval of the tax assessment fixing agreement with Camp Pickleball LLC. I think it if I read correctly, one of the fastest growing, if not the fastest growing sport in the U.S. at this point. I think it would be a great addition to the community and a great draw, given that there most likely will be significant pickleball tournaments throughout the year. It's indoor, so they can continue to play throughout the year. I think it would be a great mix and a great addition to the town, drawing in and having those participants patronize other local restaurants and establishments. So I recommend that we move forward with pickleball. I think it'll be a great addition.
We could form a town council team,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Hey,
Sounds
right.
great.
It's out there now. Get ready.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yep.
Item 3, Fire Protection Life Safety Systems Inspection Ordinance. The Town of Plainville's Fire Marshal Office is required to inspect all fire protection systems within the Town of Plainville. This is to ensure that the systems have been inspected, tested, and maintained. To assist with this, the Fire Marshal would like to engage the services of a third-party vendor, such as the Compliance Engine by Brycer LLC, to provide a simple, internet-based tool to track and drive code compliance, reduce false alarm activity, and provide a safer community. For the Fire Marshal's office to utilize a third-party vendor, the town must add a new section to the Town of Plainville Code authorizing the Fire Marshal's office to allow a third-party vendor to participate in the inspection process. Additional information is included in the packet that describes the process and the revenue model. There is no cost to the town or fee for the building owners. There is an item under new business to set a public hearing date to hear comment on the proposed ordinance regarding the fire protection life safety systems inspection. And I will pause there because I know that Ron is here as well in case there were any questions. But I think hopefully the packet it gives you enough detail to understand that we're moving or suggesting we move forward with setting a public hearing in order to hear comment on how that would work, how that system would work. But I think it would be a valuable tool for the Fire Marshal's office in order to undertake inspections.
So there's no cost at all? How does that happen?
I'll let Ron speak to that, but basically it's the company.
That would be
does-
great.
No, there's, Ron, do you want
Do you mind coming to the podium? Thanks, Ron.
Good evening. Yes, there's no cost to the town.
Sorry, Ron. If you don't
push
mind
the
just pressing the button.
hit the button?
My
We'll get
apologies.
you going sooner or later.
Yes, there is of no cost to the town. There's no cost to the businesses. The only cost that is generated is to the inspection company that does the work. It's going to cost them $17 to upload their form into the Bricer compliance engine, which does a cloud-based dashboard for me to watch and look over.
So there's no cost at all for this?
Not a cost at all to us. And what it does, the fire code has set timeframes where I do inspections. Something like U-Haul is every 4 years.
Okay.
Something like a restaurant is annually. Something 3 family and above is annually. Something like a manufacturing business might be every 3 years. What this company will do is manage it quarterly, biannually, and annually, where it doesn't fit into my code. So I could look at someone's stuff tomorrow, and I won't go back again for 3 years. They'll look at it in the interim, so I don't lose out on that compliance. They'll send out the original reminders. They'll send out the violations. When they get to a point where the violations aren't repaired, then it goes to me for boots on the ground for abatements through the housing court.
Oh. So how does that, I mean, that's interesting. There's no cost. Is there a cost to it says there's no cost to anybody.
No, the only
So
cost.
how does that happen?
The
Tell
only-
me how they stay in business. They're creating software, they're managing information.
They're charging $17 for every report that the service company is going to upload to them.
Oh,
So maximum sound and security goes to the town hall, and they service our fire alarm system. They service our sprinkler system if we had one. They would service our fire extinguishers. Every time they do one of those inspections, it's $17 to the service company to Bricer, and that's where they make their revenue.
okay.
And it's in their benefit to upload these forms, because then the companies will turn around and pay them for the service, the repairs, and the follow-up. So that's their business model.
Okay. Got it. It seemed like it's really free.
To us, yes.
Pretty amazing.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any other questions for Ron about so we have to,
That's an item.
because it's an ordinance, we have to do a public hearing, and then it gets voted on at the following meeting?
Right,
After
yep.
the public hearing? Okay.
Right, we have a business, new item under new business to set the public hearing and. to-
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
And we'd bring it back, set the public hearing for August, have comment, and then September, redo it.
Perfect. Thanks, Ron.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Item number 4 is the municipal center fire alarm system replacement. So the municipal center fire alarm system is out of date, antiquated, and in need of replacement. In the fiscal year 2022 and fiscal year 2024 capital improvement plan, CIP, the town council had set aside, allocated money, a total of $90,000 for the procurement and installation of a new fire alarm system. The Building and Grounds Department received a quote from Johnson Controls Fire Protection LLP for a total of $76,890, which this quote is under the budgeted amount. We'd like to move forward with that. Bless you. There's an item under new business regarding the award of bid 2024-06 Municipal Center Fire Alarm System Replacement to Johnson Controls Fire Protection LLP of Rocky Hill, Connecticut, and this will be coming off the state contract number 18 PSX 0005 in the amount of $76,890. So we're essentially piggybacking off a state contract to get this done, and glad to say that it came in under budget.
Great.
Long overdue. It's something we've had an eye on to do, and finally we'll be able to put this in place. Item 5 is the Farmington Canal Heritage Trail Phase 2 update. As most of you know, the council knows, is familiar with the fact that there are 3 phases to the closing the gap for Plainville as part of the East Coast Greenway. So this is talking about setting up and holding a virtual public informational meeting for Phase 2 of the Farmington Canal Heritage Trail on Thursday, July 20th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Information about registering and participating is available on our website. A question and answer session will immediately follow the Connecticut Department of Transportation presentation, and the purpose of the meeting is to provide the community with an opportunity to learn more about the proposed project and allow an open discussion of any views and comments concerning the proposed improvements. Phase 2 of the trail is approximately 2 miles long. The project consists of a linear trail from the existing trailhead parking on Northwest Drive to Route 72 in proximity to North Washington Street. Construction is anticipated to begin in the fall of 2025 based on the availability of funding, acquisition of rights-of-way, and approval of permits. The estimated construction cost for this project is approximately $15.5 million. This project is anticipated to be undertaken with 80% federal funds and 20% state funds. The hearing, or not hearing, but the informational meeting will be setting up the library auditorium for Thursday for individuals that want to have issues with internet connections and/or Zoom meetings and want to see the presentation. They may also fill out forms, participate, and give us questions that we could then type into the chat to become an official record of the meeting. So we'll be able to facilitate that for anyone that may not have a connection at home but wants to participate, has a question. So we're giving that option availability for Thursday night at the library.
Okay.
And then item 6, quick update on the Shuttle Meadow Pump Station Upgrade Project. The station is one of the town's largest wastewater pump stations, and it is pumping an average of 450,000 gallons per day. The pump station was originally designed and built in 1968 with some modern modifications in 2000. Considering the age of the equipment, the ability to secure spare parts, the unreliability of the alarm system, and the inability of the pumps to keep up with the flows, the station is in need of an upgrade. The station is also considered a confined space and is dangerous each time employees have to enter there to fix or repair something. The construction is expected to last approximately 68 weeks, and project will include a new wet well, pumps, backup generator, controls, alarms, valves, piping fittings, and will eliminate the confined space safety hazard that exists today. So we anticipate that the bids will go out in the fall. So be happy to come back in the fall to report on that progress, but just wanted it to be on the radar for the council. No action is needed. It's just more of a informational item, and again, trying to get the word out that hopefully there won't be much disruption in that area, but it is going to be a long process. It's not one of those 2 to 3 month type of projects. So this is one of those items where the department and superintendent feel that it's at a time where they can get funding from the Clean Water Act and pursue this. So. Yeah, it fits with the timing, and it's coming, so.
Okay. So the funding will come out of the water pollution control,
Right, entirely funded.
and they're looking for assistance from federal money to help with that. Okay.
Correct, yeah.
Is there any estimate what it would be at this point, or is it too early?
Yeah, I think the estimates are, I think we're anticipating close to a $2 million project.
$2 million? Okay.
Below that, I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be above, not below, but I think 2 million to maybe to 2.5 could be.
Okay.
Could be the range.
Thank
But
you.
it's an important project, and I think they're very happy to see this is already on the drawing board with our assistants from Tig and Bond and beginning to put the specs together and get it out on the street, so to speak, to bid, so.
Okay.
Very happy about that. In relation to the sewer department, item 7 is just an update on an incident that happened on the July, I guess the holiday week on July 1st. There was what we call a disinfectant issue at the plant, so that I run through the timeline for you. That on Saturday, July 1st, about 6:28 p.m., there was a bird strike, or birds flying into the breakers above in terms of the wires on the poles outside the fence. Eversource was notified and responded by resetting the breaker and installing the cages around each of the 3 breakers to hopefully prevent this from happening again. When I talked to Joe about it, apparently this is one of those frequent occurrences that birds happen to fly in and disrupt that. So we're hoping the cages will help prevent some of that from happening in the future. The on-call operator came in and did their thing, and at that time, they did not notice that the UV system wasn't online. And the UV system is one of their most important components within the facility that is very effective at killing E. coli. So that's something that the state requires, and they have to monitor. And so on Saturday, while resetting, they still hadn't noticed that, and it wasn't until later that they realized that the system was off. The town immediately submitted a 2-hour equipment breakdown report to the Q Alert system within DEP, the state level. DEP was notified by email as well that there was an issue with the UV system. Our contractors were called. One is Trojan. It was contacted, emergency technician assisted with the effort by walking through different reasons the system might not start, and the system had power, but they could not activate the alarm system, and they could not see any faults in the report. The team was successful in getting it started, and the unit was unsuccessful in getting the unit started, and the unit remained off. So what transpired in this sort of a emergency type situation is trying to get that UV system online, and the technicians came in, still couldn't figure it out. So the superintendent started a process by doing an emergency purchase order process to get the parts necessary for that. And in the meantime, they were able to, with the help of an electrician, figure out a workaround and wiring to the system to get that UV system up in operation. So it did come back online. It was a few days and it was off. They figured it out, and they've been running that way with the workaround while they wait for the parts to come in. The numbers spiked up to 2,400 parts, I guess, or readings in terms of E. coli. Their permit is much larger. It was Councilmember Morani that asked about the repercussions or the impact. The superintendent said that there's not a health concern, nor was there any health concern at any point because the level did not reach any type of threshold within that. And given the fact that, just to put it in perspective, Joe said that our facility puts about 2 to 2.5 million gallons a day. And in respect to other entities that are much larger, they're putting out 50 to 100 million to more gallons a day. So we never exceeded the limit. The state was notified right away. If there had been any concerns, the state had a backup treatment plan in terms of addressing it with chlorine, but that was not necessary. We did not. At no point was there any health concern or health impact at the plant or the facility. It is up and running, and it's very effective. The levels are back down to 3. So that's how effective UV is in terms of, there's a count of 3, I guess, parts per million or something like that. But very effective, and it's back up in line. The parts for that system are on order, and then they will go through their system check piece by piece by piece to make sure that everything is up to snuff. So that's it to report on the plant and what they're doing, and hopefully that the parts will arrive on time, estimated to arrive next week on the 24th. Item 8 is the Honor Heights Sewer Project update, which is moving along. Ludlow Construction began installation of the sanitary sewers on June 22nd. at the intersection of Robideau Road and Shepherd Lane. Construction activities during the week ending June 23rd consist of installing one sanitary sewer manhole at the intersection of Robideau Road and Shepherd Lane and extending the 8-inch sanitary sewer main line approximately 115 linear feet northerly on Shepherd Lane toward Washburn Drive, including one additional manhole. The week ending June 30th, Ludlow Construction installed approximately 410 linear feet of 8-inch sanitary sewer main on Shepherd Lane northerly to the intersection of Washburn Drive, including two manholes. The installation of sewer main on Shepherd Lane was completed. In addition, Ludlow Construction installed approximately 350 linear feet of 8-inch sanitary sewer main westerly on Robideau Road from the intersection of Robideau Road and Shepherd Lane, including three manholes to the intersection of D'Amico Drive. The week of July 14th, Ludlow Construction installed approximately 675 linear feet of sanitary sewer westerly on Robideau Road from D'Amico Drive to the intersection of Robideau Road and Washburn, including two manholes. The installation of sewer main on Robideau is complete, and additionally, Ludlow Construction installed approximately 500 linear feet of sewer main on Hole Drive from the intersection of Robideau Road northerly, including one manhole. The disturbed trench areas on Robideau and Hull Drive were paved. There was a bit of an issue with the sand content in that area. It was a little bit higher than they expected and gave them a little bit of issues with trench boxes and safety. Obviously, they're following all the safety rules and precautions necessary, but when you're opening up the road, opening up the ground and opening up the road and putting these in, you expect a certain soil composition, and it was a little bit higher in sand than they thought. So it presented a little bit, it slowed them down a little bit, I think, and but they were, worked through it, and they are aware of it, and will, be on the lookout for that. But they are, I think, doing very well with that project, and everything's moving along. We are working, we continue to work with people to identify. I think we have with all of the questions about lateral locations, and so we continue to do that. John Bossy has been out in the field and talking with those individuals. So I think, as far as I know at this point, I'll check in with John later this week, but I think we have addressed all of those issues as well. So that is all I have, and
Okay.
if there are any questions, I will turn it over to item 9, happenings, to Andy.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you. First up, from the Revenue Collection and Tax Office, property bills and tax bills were mailed out to residents earlier this month during the first week of July. If residents did not receive a bill, they should contact the Tax and Revenue Collection Office, and all taxes are due by August 1st to be considered on time. Anything afterwards will be considered delinquent. From the Public Library, for more information on library programs, including registration, call the Plainville Public Library at 860-793-1446 or visit www.plainvillect.com/library. The first is their Summer Library Adventures. Their first event is on Wednesday, July 19th at 5 p.m. This is for teens in grades 7 to 12, and they'll be making an easy hand-sewn game of tic-tac-toe. Another event is on Thursday, August 10th at 6 p.m. This is a Rockin' with Pete the Cat. All ages are welcome to attend, and participants can get their picture with Pete the Cat and hang out for a show filled with good music and with audience participation. Also from the library is a Master Wildlife Conservationist with Deep on Wednesday, July 19th at 6:30 p.m. Ginny Apple will present Bobcats in Connecticut. All ages are welcome to attend, and participants will learn about natural history of bobcats in Connecticut and their habitat. From the Central Connecticut Chamber of Commerce, the 32nd Annual Golf Tournament is on Monday, August 7th at Tunxus Country Club. If you're interested in registering, you could do so online at www.centralctchambers.org. And finally, from the Senior Center, for information on Senior Center programs, you can call the Plainville Senior Center at 860-747-5728. All programs are free and open to the public unless otherwise indicated. The Memory Cafe at the Senior Center, they'll be having an event on Thursday, July 20th at 2 p.m., and there will be another one on Thursday, August 17th at 2 p.m. The Memory Cafe is a warm and welcoming program for individuals with memory loss. Anyone experiencing memory loss is welcome to attend with their loved ones or caregivers. Spruce up your salads, DIY healthy salad dressings, on Tuesday, July 25th at 10:30 a.m. The cost is $3, and it is with instructor Jessica Dorner, who is a registered dietitian. Learn how to make your own salad dressings using mostly pantry ingredients and get recipes and informational handouts, and you'll be able to take home at least one sample dressing. Are You Strong Enough? Lunch and Learn program is on Thursday, August 3rd at 11:30 a.m., and they're asking that folks are get registered by July 31st. Fox Rehabilitation will discuss the benefits of physical activity with chronic health conditions that can be managed with exercise. This is co-sponsored by the Pines of Bristol, and there's a complimentary bagged lunch provided. Boost Your Brain Health by Eating Well on Tuesday, August 8th from 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., a presentation hosted by the Farmington Station Senior Living. Learn how easy nutrition guidelines and recipes can get you started on the road to a healthier mind, improved memory, and whole body health. Help for Veterans on Tuesday, August 15th at 10 a.m. This is by appointment only. And if you'd like to schedule an appointment, you can call the Veteran Service Officer, Jason Coppola, at 203-805-6340. And this is an opportunity for veterans to find out their status, if they need any help with paperwork, and it's an opportunity for a face-to-face meeting. The meetings are held at the Senior Center. Caregiving, Guilt, and Duty, It's Complicated, Isn't It?, is an event on Tuesday, August 15th at 11 a.m. This is a discussion around guilt and the duty of caregiving and the challenges that caregivers face while providing care. So there will be some tips on ways to manage caregiving guilt and ways to improve your health and well-being, and there's some technology and tips too that will be shared with participants. And finally, White House Memories Part 2 on Tuesday, August 15th at 2 p.m. There's a presentation by a former White House butler. His name is Alan De Valero, and that'll be at the Senior Center. And that is all I have.
Okay. Thank you both for your reports. Does anybody have any questions regarding Michael or Andy's report tonight? All good? Okay. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're in the public comment section of our meeting. During this time, we welcome the public to come up to our podium. You'll have one opportunity to speak to the council for 3 minutes. When you do come to the podium, please state your name and address. Does anybody wish to speak to the council tonight? Yes. Okay.
Lisa Lozier, 17 Grand Avenue, 23 years on the Conservation Commission. That is what I've collected from April of this year to this morning. We're on track to fill another box like the one I brought to the last meeting, and seems like we were all on the same page from the last meeting. If I didn't think that area was special, I wouldn't have made over 13,000 walks and given 36 years of my life to try to keep things as safe as possible for the wildlife in that area. That spot is not a park in their eyes, but a diversified habitat in their ever-shrinking world of human encroachment. You can't formulate a true assessment about the pond with one walk or even a handful. You're going to need to at least do 100 or more to truly get a good picture of what actually is going on down there. Like Tomaso Nature Park, the pond has fallen through the cracks over the course of the years, and the town has not ever routinely maintained that area. If fishing is going to continue, then the town and not volunteers will have to provide for the negative impact that's created if the gem that we would all like to see has a chance of coming to fruition. And this gem would have to be for all, wildlife included, and not just a select group. Improperly discarded fishing gear is deadly pollution in a water area, and that falls under the Conservation Commission's ability to address and make recommendations, which we have done or we've started to. Improperly discarded fishing gear is in violation of Chapter 285, Parks and Rec areas, Section 9, Articles E, G, and H, passed by the Town Council on October 21st, 2021. I didn't create this mess, I'm just the messenger, and that is the reality. Making these recommendations is not popular, it's not a popular thing to do, but I feel like we've got to start somewhere. Any questions, suggestions, we're certainly open to them, we welcome them, but we do know that something truly needs to be done moving forward. A safer and cleaner environment for the wildlife, and we're all going to benefit from it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak to the council? Yes, Marge.
Hi, Marge Burris, 2 Mountain View Drive in Plainville. I'm also Conservation Commission Chair. I want to thank the Town Council for allowing Art to come back and to help us out at Tomaso. In my opinion, the knowledge that he has over the time that he's worked there is something that we could not duplicate, and I want to see that knowledge come back and stay with the town. So I want to thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak that has not done so? Come on, Art.
Okay, it's Art Marino, 22 Tuttle Street, Bristol, Connecticut. And as everybody says, it's nice to come back, okay? I want to bring you up on the snuff with the turtle beds, all that work that we've done. They're working. I was out there, we took some weights to the mounds that we took out, and we're figuring roughly there's about 200 and some odd turtles coming out of there now, okay? No complaints from any neighbors. There's no turtles going into their yards now. So this is why I'm glad I'm coming back, because I want to try and keep track of this. The other thing too is, as Marge says, it's all up here, okay? I'm one of the originals from the committee that started that nature park in 1989. There is no others left. So it's kind of hard to put everything down on paper. So from here on in, I will try and do what I can do. I'll help you out as much as I can, okay? Let's try and get this nature park back to where it should be. It's a gem, okay? It's not a dump. It's not a wasteland like people say. It's not a swamp. It's a marshland, okay? And we do have wildlife out there that need that habitat to survive. So I want to keep it going. Thank you.
Thank you for all your hard work, Art. We're happy that you're coming back to help out again and share your knowledge. Okay. Does anybody else wish to speak to the council? John?
John Kislick, 65 Forestville Avenue. I'm here about Poderewski Park again, and I still have an issue with Lisa Lozier, who spoke tonight. I went to one of their meetings, April 12th, to talk about their decisions on trying to ban boating. And this Lisa Lozier tried to bully me by interrupting me, talking over me, that Mark DeVoe and myself had to tell her I'm allowed to speak. She has been, for years now, trying to take away recreation from human beings on that pond. And I have another thing that I gave Kathy a copy. These are minutes from April 12th to 2017 that had a lot to do with a fishing derby that was being planned for Poderewski Park. Present were Marge Burris, Randall Paz, Lisa Lozier, Roberta Loria, Jeff Sapko, friends of Poderewski, Elaine Bellinger, Tammy Dupre, and Haz Berger. Staff was Garrett Diego from the town planner. Rosemary Moranti was there. Shane Lockwood was also there, the Burlington Health Director. Shane made a statement. Shane said that fishing derby should be fine. Okay, then you go into this, Marge and Roberta sent emails about the fishing derby. Then Roberta sent out flyers to the elementary schools, middle schools, the Plainville Rec Department. This was to get all young kids, young boys and girls, to come out and enjoy a fishing derby. The derby was held because our citizen property owners had a picnic at Paderewski that same day that it happened. I want to read a couple of motions. One motion was made to purchase trout for the derby. It was seconded. They voted 4-1, Lozier not in favor. A motion was made and second to allocate payment for the trout. 4-1, Lozier no. A motion was made for miscellaneous supplies for the fishing derby. 4-1, Lozier no. Now, what kind of person, especially on a conservation commission, will want to deny young boys and girls the opportunity to experience a fishing derby? They get recreation, conservation, nature, and the experience of fishing. I've been telling you for months now, we should not have a person on there who wants to deny recreation at that pond by the public. I know you're going to be going out and taking a walk, but this is the only person in this town of 17,000 people who is making this allegations of problems with fishing stuff. And she wants to take away boating now. So I know my time is up. I appreciate it if this council would just leave the ordinance alone. That ordinance is excellent, and whoever made it up was really, really intelligent on ordinances.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak that has not done so? Lou? Okay. Sorry.
Lou Frangos, 10 Fairbank Street. Some quick questions on the middle school committee meetings that are going to be coming up. We've hired this outside firm. Okay. For clarity, are these meetings going to be more than the middle school? And that's what I want a little clarity on. But also Plainville economics regarding possible school closings and other financial issues such as school personnel laying off, et cetera, et cetera. Does that make sense what I'm
Yeah,
asking?
that's a lot. I know that the company is going to do a deep dive into population and student enrollment and things of that nature. I'm not sure about some of the other things. I think at that meeting that we had, we would have had to ask them to do more study into other areas of the middle school. Michael, maybe you can help us with this.
Right, you're right on point. The SLAM consultant is expected to report back, is working on to finish up, so a target date for Monday, a week from today, Monday, July 24th, to have a joint meeting with the Board of Education and the Town Council to talk about what the chair just explained about the demographics, about student enrollment population projections in terms of where is sort of a starting point of, okay, what will it tell us? And then, how do we make informed decisions from that? Beyond in terms of schools and configurations and so forth, it's too early in the process to say anything other than we're getting the first step done with the demographics and student enrollment projections.
Yes, sir. Well, the only reason, again, the reason I asked that question is this thing in my mind anyway, all started off with whether do we build as new as middle school, at the middle school. Then all of a sudden it seemed to be steamrolling in another direction. Maybe it's my misunderstanding, but it just, whatever. I put these crazy notes together. Well, will the school committee meetings be open to, will they be open to the public? And how will the public be notified of these meetings?
Yes, they will be.
If I may just add one thing to that also, I think there was supposed to be 4 meetings. Did he mention there were, or did I misunderstand that?
I'm not sure about 4
I don't know
meetings.
about the frequency or number, but the next
That's all right.
meeting
That's all right.
is the next meeting is we are trying for will be Monday the 24th, I believe, at 6 o'clock in the auditorium at the library is what we're planning on doing.
So
Open to the
the
public.
meetings will be open.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yep.
Thank you. And let's see. Okay, well, this ties in. The left final thing I was going to ask is, when the presentations are given, all right, will people, the public that is there, could they ask questions? Or is this,
Generally, when we have those types of presentations, it's really restricted to the council and the Board of Education. It's like when we have our work sessions here, it's not for the public to engage in. Certainly, you can ask questions during our regular time, as you do at our regular meetings, but those meetings, generally speaking, are for the board or the council to get information from the consultant. So
okay.
not normally.
The only reason I ask is clarity for myself, because I remember back when with the Wheeler and Linden Street School,
Right.
and we had the public hearings, and
Yes.
we allowed, in fact, John, myself, went up there and asked questions with Mr. Lee, et cetera, et cetera. So I was wondering if we were following suit with this.
At this stage, I would say we're still just trying to get the information, and as it evolves, and if there's going to be something bigger happening, there will be an opportunity for the public to get involved. I know that you were at a meeting at Wheeler School when there was conversation about going forward with the Wheeler School project. And yes, that was an open forum for parents and anybody else interested. But these are more for the council and the board to gather information for initially, because it's really the first step we're taking. But ultimately, yes, of course, we'll have such an opportunity.
And just one more time in passing as I walk away, it's going to be the first group meetings will be at the library, and it's open to the public.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Does anybody else wish to speak to the council that has not done so? Yes, ma'am. Gail? Marge? One of you? Either one.
Gail Black, 4 CNC Avenue. I have a comment and a question. I keep hearing that there's a law that you can't have your pet buried with you in town.
I don't know about that. No?
Like in the cemeteries.
This-
And I don't want any other humans in with me when I die.
I'm the president of the Cemetery Association. I will tell you that they cannot be buried.
Why?
Something we were
Is it one of
told.
those stupid old laws?
Well,
There's a lot of laws on the books that are very old.
I believe it is.
I'll have to look it up. Okay, I'll find out because
But I know at the Plainville cemeteries, they are not allowed to be buried with the
oh my,
owners.
that is so backwards. It's got to be like I know some.
Well, what would you do if they wanted to bury a horse with the owner? Or
If they
something bigger?
bought a big enough plot, I'd let them. Look at Roy Rogers.
True.
That's right.
I'd rather hang out after life with my pets than any humans. I don't mean that to be offensive to anyone, but I really don't want to go. I want to go to the Rainbow Bridge. I don't want to go to heaven or hell, you know? So, okay, now I'll just say this. Here's my comment. She's not the only one about the fishing. When I looked at the fishing, what do you call it? The
Fishing
wire?
line and things.
Yes. If you're going to take kids somewhere, you got to teach them to pull that stuff out of the water. You don't just bring them there to have fun and then you go off. Like, it's a good thing I'm not a parent. My kids would not have a, what do you call it? They wouldn't have an iPhone because they wouldn't get one until they could afford it. You know? I can't afford one. Why should they? So that's the way I look at it. But I lived at Lake Garda, and I was looking out the back. We're right on the lake, and there was a duck there. And my boyfriend and I went shopping, and we came back a couple hours later. The duck's still there. So my boyfriend went over and got this guy because his dad had ducks there. And what happened was it had fishing line all around its feet. we got it out of the water and put it on our bank, and it sat there for 2 freaking hours. So that's just one duck. So, and I would save a duck before I'd save him. So I'm an animal person. So, but I do think you need to teach the children. If you can't teach them, then that's no good. I fished with my dad, so I know.
Thank you, Gail. Marge, before I let you come back for a second time, normally it's just a one-time deal. I don't think anybody else wants to speak that hasn't done so already. Do you have something else you'd like to say to the council? Okay, we'll allow it. John, don't get mad at me. John?
He gets it, I get it.
I am again Marge Burris, 2 Mountain View Drive and Conservation Commission Chair. I know that this issue with Paderewski has a lot of people riled up. And I have spoken to a couple people who understand that if fishing were to be eliminated, that there would be a big group of people who are fishermen who would come and who do what they're supposed to do. I was always in favor of the fishing because I used to go fishing. And we put out things to help people. We put out containers. We put out notices. We did everything that we could think to do to get people to understand this is where you put your trash. And I have to tell you, I went to Paderewski the other day just because I hadn't been there to check it out lately and wound up tied up in fishing line. So I take exception to John, and I understand we all have our own comments, but to continually go after one person on the commission, I have a hard time with it. And I will stand here and I will support every member of my commission every time this comes up. Thank you for listening
Thank you.
to me.
Okay. John, 15 seconds. Then I'm going to close the public comment because we've already gone past what we normally do. Usually it's one visit, but
John Kislick, 65 Forestville Avenue. I'm surprised that Marge is supporting that person because she personally gave me a heads up that she's a difficult person and would be hard to deal with. And besides that, Marge as chairperson should never allow these illegal votes on banning fishing, banning boating. It's an ordinance in the town. She allowed it to be made a motion, allowed it to be voted on. So I'm going after her too now. She's
Okay, John.
incompetent as a chairperson. She should know, being chair, that you can't vote on something that's against something that's a law.
okay, thank you. I will close the public comment section. Thank you all for your offer of information, and we will move on with our agenda. There is no old business, so item number 1 on new business. May I have a motion, please?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Underwood.
motion to approve and authorize the town manager to execute the memorandum of understanding for Camp Pickleball LLC as recommended by the Economic Development Agency.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2,
Madam Chair,
Mr. Underwood.
motion to establish a public hearing on Monday, August 21st, 2023 at 7 p.m. in the Municipal Center to hear public comment regarding an ordinance entitled Fire Protection and Life Safety Systems Inspection.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 3, please.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Underwood.
motion to award bid number 2024-06 Municipal Center Fire Alarm System Replacement to Johnson Control Fire Protection LP of Rocky Hill, Connecticut, under state contract number 18PSX0005 in the amount of $76,890.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 4, please.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Underwood.
motion to approve the tax refund as listed on the addendum.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item number 12, other discussions of interest. Michael, do you have anything else for us tonight?
Yes, I do. I have a few items for
Oh,
you.
okay.
First and foremost, I'd like to introduce to you Matt Colando, who is in the front row here, is our intern. He is a high school student finishing up his junior year, will be a senior in the fall, and he's helping us out with various topics and exploring, learning
Matt.
about municipal government.
Welcome.
I'd like to welcome Matt.
Welcome. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's been just shadowing Andy for the
Oh.
most part.
You'll have fun.
I want to put that on the record. And, but I think Matt has great energy. I think he's probably, you'll see in the future, a public servant in
Right.
Matt. And one can hope, and hope there was nothing here that dissuaded him from that. And may not be pretty, but it's democracy at work, and we're happy to have him. He's a great
Yep.
addition for us and helping us out with some special projects and so forth. So I
Good.
just wanted to introduce Matt.
We wish you well, and I'm sure you'll have a great experience here because we have a variety of things that go on all the time. All the time. Every day is different.
Yep. Yep.
Great. Congratulations.
And just wanted to comment that, I guess all of this conversation around conservation has spurred some interest. I am interviewing and sitting down with 2 individuals that have indicated that they'd like to serve on the Conservation Commission, which has several vacancies, as you may know. So I hope to be able to report out favorably that some names to be able to come forward in the future and for appointment. But just
Okay.
wanted to give you a heads up. And then finish with just the quick update on the flooding issue, heavy rains that we had yesterday. There was, I would say, minimal impact around town. The library was impacted with some flooding in the auditorium lower level, but building and grounds and our janitorial crews were all working to rectify that in time for Thursday's public informational meeting, so it shouldn't be a problem. But Ron had responded, and the fire department responded to a couple of calls over on Forestville Avenue section of town. And other than that, 1 or 2 tree limbs that were out, and that was about it. I think all in all, we weathered the storm very well. I just want to pass that along.
Madam
Right.
Chair,
Yes, Dave.
I have a request of the town manager. In regards to the storm on Sunday, years past, we used to have an emergency broadcast system here in Plainville. Can you look into that system? Let me know if it's been updated. I will tell you, in the older days, we used to have hard lines. Today, most people have given up their hard lines for cell phones. In the past, it was a request to the town for people who wanted to be on the broadcast to send in their phone numbers, be it a hard number or a cell phone. I don't know when the last time was the system was updated or
Right.
upgraded. If you could look into it and get back to the council, let us know.
Been a while.
Sure, yeah.
Who
I
handles
Red
that?
alert, that
It's
red.
Code Red.
Code
Code Red is on our,
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
our
Code Red,
website.
yeah.
But I will check in with both police and fire, and Ron as emergency management director, and discuss that in terms of, I know it's out there. I'm just not sure how many people have signed up for it, but apparently, it is, and
It's
I don't
not
know that we
working
used
anymore,
it
though. It's not working anymore, though, because I was signed up for it and I used to get alerts and I don't get.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't
It's
think
been-
any of us
Well, I'm
have.
glad.
It's been years.
haven't
It's been
either.
since Chief Catania's been around. That's how long
Okay,
it's been.
well, I'm glad you raised that, because I was not, I was not unaware of that, so
Well-
it's something we'll have to make sure that it's working, and maybe, I mean, there are other systems out there, but Code Red is used, well, extensively throughout the state. There's another, Everbridge, I think, is another one, but I'll look into it and get you some report back on that. But that's a great point, David. I appreciate that.
And I got to tell you, yesterday on the way to church, North Washington Street probably had a 1.5 feet of water.
Yep.
And as I was traveling to church, I mean, there was flooding all over the place. And it would have been nice if a broadcast was issued to let the people of Plainville know
Yeah.
that it's not a good time to go out, that there is
Yeah.
floods all over it.
Pryor Avenue was the same too. Pryor Avenue, at least a foot and a half on Pryor. Washington Street, when I came down South Washington to Washington Street to turn onto Broad, Washington Street looked like it was just a river flowing into Broad Street. So, and that was around 9 o'clock, 9:05 yesterday morning. So when I came home, it was better. It had subsided by then. But because the rainfall was so heavy in such a short amount of time that it wasn't able to absorb it for the time being. So, I mean, if I didn't have a Jeep, I would have been floating on Pryor Avenue, but my
I
Jeep
did
was
that
able
once
to.
to my car.
Yeah, yeah. I was waiting for a sputter to it didn't though. My Jeep was good, so I was very grateful for it yesterday morning. But yeah, it was a little dicey in the morning.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
yep.
Madam Chair?
Yes,
Just
Dr.
a
Mary.
quick point of information. During the public comment, the vote of the Conservation Commission on the fishing derby back in 2017, I believe. I do remember being there, and unfortunately Marge left, if she could correct me if I'm wrong. There was another part of that discussion in terms of the fishing derby that concerned the 2015 fish kill, the late summer down at Paderewski Pond. And the possible concern with adding fish for the fishing derby because of the oxygen level, et cetera. So there was that other concern. It wasn't just,
Yeah,
there was a little more to that discussion, which the minutes would not reflect, yeah.
Well, Shane Lockwood was there as the health director, that it was fine.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know if the minutes included that, but I know that was a concern, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Rosemary.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have anything they would like to add before we adjourn? No? Won't be back for another month, so now's your chance. You're good? Okay. Very good. We do not have an executive session, so I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chair, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Aye.